We're good.
It's getting cooler, bro.
Thank you. That helps. You guys, do any of you have business cards with you? Do you have a business card with you? Do you guys have business cards with you? Yes. May I have one? Pretty please. You guys have cards? Yeah. All right.
Hey, just so you guys know, this is the best part.
You guys are quiet. Before that. After lunch, you'll be sleepy, right? You guys, anybody have business cards with them? If you have them, do me a favor, hand them to Michael real quick. Obviously, I'm losing my voice, so you can tell. Michael, right here. If you don't have a card with you, if you can write your website on a piece of paper, that'd be awesome. And you can hand this to him as well. You guys tell me when we're ready to rock and roll. Sweet, thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
I would say just go ahead and get going.
All right, you guys, good afternoon. How you doing? You good? You going to Cabo? Can I come? See, now it's recorded. I apologize for my voice. Done a little bit of speaking over the last few months, and it's kind of going away. I'm Jennifer Bagley. I'm the CEO of CI Web Group, and I appreciate you having me out. I have some of my crew with me. I have our Chief Operations Officer, Michael Hicklin, in the back on the left, and Scott Smith, who's head of our video marketing as well as our social marketing departments. So he's got a couple cameras around the room, so make it good when you look. Just point at it and smile. So I appreciate you guys taking time to be with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about your favorite subject, digital marketing. How many of you love it? Yes? Fantastic. Yes? Anyone else? Fantastic. How's it working for you? Yeah? Very, very good. Can I start off with a poem with my frog voice?
Yes.
All right, thank you. It says, the digital age requires change. It's complex and different. It may feel like pain. Typical advertising agencies are feeling the same, having to pretend they understand code, indexing, and Google algorithm change. In order to stay relevant to you, they must say they understand how consumers buy, and they can help you find them this way. The reality is you have to have grown up in this age to truly compete. It's complex and changes every day. And even if you do everything right, whether they find you online or referred from a friend, at the end of the day, consumers will ultimately go online, do a search, and make their decisions based on what everyone else has to say. It's not easy, it's not fast, it's not going away. If you want to be in business 1,000 days from today, change with the times, and don't wait for technology to go away. Ferguson, air-cooled, and day and night have invested in their dealers, providing more than a box of services and goods to sell today. They stand out from the rest, helping you live up to the test, growing your business, and not getting left behind. So sit back, unwind. There's lots of new customers to find. Let's reposition your business. Let's make you top of mind. What does that mean to you? Thoughts? This is interactive. You can't just sit back and be quiet in this class. What's it mean?
They'll get more purpose.
Absolutely. What else? They said you'll get more work if you stay up with the times. What else? Thoughts? Thoughts? More money, more money. I like that. More money. What else? Thoughts? Gotta be open to change. I'll take it. I like that. What else? Right here. Yeah, you're gonna make eye contact eventually, so come on. Absolutely. You guys, this world is changing fast. Would you agree? Here's a challenge. We live in this time, and we think technology is changing, and it looks like the one on the left, because we're living in it. In reality, the way consumers buy, technology trends, their consumers' habits, it actually looks like the one on the right. 4 years ago, I was standing on stage and I was talking to people about this little device. How many of you have your phones with you? Grab them, take them out, put them on the table in front of you. I don't care if they go off, take a picture, get this side, you can take pictures of the screen. Google came out 4 years ago and said, you know what, everybody's using cell phones. Would you agree with that? And they came up with a penalty called a mobile responsive penalty. They called it mobile get in my world. If your website was not coded with mobile responsive code, then they issued penalties, and they've been doing them ever since in swoops. So people that did not have mobile responsive sites went from having a website sitting on page 1 of Google, they were generating leads and opportunities, and boom, overnight, their business tanked. A year ago, I was talking about something different. I was talking about these wearable devices. The ability for a consumer to search on a watch or a wearable device. That was one of the most popular trends for sales and technology a year and a half ago. This year, what has happened? Anybody familiar with what technology devices sold in the top 10 for the highest sales on Amazon this year for Christmas? The speaker. Echo. Amazon, perfect. Amazon Echo. And their newest competitor to the game, anyone seen that commercial? What is it? Google Home. Absolutely. These devices, cell phones, now computers. My Mac now has an AI device, artificial intelligence, the ability to speak your request and it's going to respond. Asking a phone, Siri, find an air conditioning repair company in Bakersfield. Where are we at right now? I need the city name. Where am I? Van Nuys. Sorry. It all runs together. Last night I went to the wrong hotel room, the one from like last week. Okay, so these devices, they sit in our homes. They're now what we use to order our groceries, our pizza, turn on the lights, turn off the lights, turn up the heat, turn down the heat, to find a service provider with the best reviews, but the query is different. It's not somebody going to a computer and just typing in AC repair in, oh crap, Van Nuys, right? Now it's somebody saying, hey Siri, can you find me the best heating and air conditioning company in Van Nuys with the best reviews? That's a different set of phrases. That's a different set of terms that's being used. Consumers' ability to search, shop, research, and identify the best providers is no longer defined by a phone book. You remember when if you weren't in the phone book, you weren't a viable business? You know? Now the phone book is about 70 local business listing directories. And you got to be in all of them, and it has to be perfect. How consumers buy. So take yourself out of being a business owner right now. Take yourself out of sales and just go back. How many of you are dads? Husbands? You got to raise your hand, man. All right? This is like exercise. 3 more, okay? All right? How many of you are homeowners? Do we have the full room? All right. Something breaks, you got to get something done. You're putting in a pool, you're getting some repair work done. What do you do? What do you do?
You check it out, see how you can fix it yourself.
I love handymen, always kill it. Dang handyman. In New York, it's funny because on the East Coast, there's no such thing as heating and air conditioning guy. They do everything. They do your appliances. They do everything. So, can you put in your own pool? Can I get difficult? What do? You're going to YouTube it. Oh. Actually, that's a good point. We could talk about that later. What do you guys do? How do you find stuff? You look online? Okay. Perfect. What else? How many of you would look online if you were looking for something? Fantastic. What else? What are you going to do? Phone book. You own a phone book. Do you have a toddler and you're saving money on a booster seat? Referrals, perfect. If you get a referral to a vendor, a contractor, service provider, anything, what do you do next? Restaurant, what do you do next? You look them up and do what? What are you looking for? Review. You're looking for the bright, shiny stars, the twinkle in your eye that makes you go click. I feel comfortable now. How many of you in the last 12 months? Okay, so Edward, this is for you, darling. No internet or referrals. Okay, I'm not talking about a Google search. In the last 12 months, how many of you have made a purchase? You are not an existing customer from radio, television, newspaper, flyer, magazine, billboard, did I say TV? Right? For some kind of new product or service, or your wife's. Raise your hand. 12 months, what'd you buy? Maybe. Are you guessing? Are you trying to give me my 1%? Maybe. Yes, what'd you buy?
My windshield.
Your windshield. Fantastic. Anyone else? What do you guys do when you go home and you go to the mailbox? Where's your next stop? I'm in California. You're supposed to say recycling. Trash is for the East Coast. West Coast always says recycling. The East Coast says trash. All right? Go to the trash. If you go to school today, if you send your kids to school for marketing and advertising, they're still teaching these things. They're still teaching traditional advertising. But consumers, we operate different now. We have the ability to access any information. There is no hidden information. There is no proprietary information. That information is out there. And if you're willing to put that information out there and answer their questions while they're doing their research and looking online, and you're able to validate it with the shiny, bright stars, then they move forward, and it's completely unconscious. It just happens. It's the way they work. Fair? So if the majority, now I'll tell you this, I've been asking these questions I've been speaking for 15 years, and I've been asking these questions. 5 years ago, if I was to ask if you got a referral to a vendor, a contractor, service provider, a restaurant, what would you do? They'd say, call them. The percentage of the room that started raising their hand and saying I would do more research before I took another action, that number has gone up and up and up. I have thousands of recordings from every event across the nation. The only place that's moving a little slower is the middle of the states. Yes? Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Unfortunately, yeah, you guys can do business with 1,000 clients. And one Yahoo has been grumpy since the day he was birthed, leaves a negative review, and guess what the consumer is going to do? Bow out. So the challenge is, regardless of their education, regardless of their knowledge, regardless of their use of logic, when they're doing the search, their natural habit is to react. And they do it so fast that you don't have time to educate them because they just don't call. The day where you were getting referrals and that was big, and you're still getting referrals, I'm sure you are. but you can't even see the volume or population of referrals that went online, did a search for your company with the name reviews, didn't like what they saw, or someone else had brighter and shinier stars, bigger count, and they just didn't call. And we can't even argue the fact that we're missing out on referral business because that's not there, because you would never know. So in order for us to be able to truly compete, we have to rethink how we think. Would you agree that everything you think today got you where you are right now? Would you agree? So in order to change our results, we have to change the way we think. That's the only way we can change what we do. So we're going to talk today about strategy. I'm going to give you enough information that you guys can start asking questions. You can look for things that you should avoid. You guys, for some reason, have one of the largest targets on your back for every scam artist out there. How many of you get calls from Google? Yeah? Hey, Google will never call. I actually record those on video, and I ask them tons of questions, and I put them up on YouTube and put scam, and they ask me to take them down. No, I'm not going to take them down. You're not Google. They would never call you. And you saved me a position on the first page of Google. That's awesome. It only cost me how much? Interesting. So we'll talk strategy today. Hopefully we're going to have some clarity. Clarity comes in many different ways. First step is being, what does this look like to you? Why did you get into business? What's your end goal? What's your plan? I think all of us get into business for a handful of reasons. You guys want to give me yours? Why'd you get into business? Why'd you start your own company?
Money.
Money? You want more of it? Awesome, I like that. What else? Time. That's number 2 on the list. Next. Starts with an F. Perfect. There's the top 3 reasons why everybody starts their own business. However, when you start it, do you have more time, more freedom, or more money? So, I feel you. I really do. I'm wearing myself down. All right, so as long as we know what the end goal looks like, it's going to make us, and we think about that. We think, what does this look like? I originally started this because I want more time, more freedom, more money. What do I need to do? What are the steps I need to do to get me to that position? It takes work, it takes time, and it takes money. However, it's doable. So getting more clarity around what do we want? How are we going to get there? Having a very strategic plan in order to be able to get there. Positioning yourself so you are in front of those consumers who are already looking for what it is that you sell. They're already looking. They're looking all day. And they're looking in different ways, right? Different devices, whether they're typing or whether they're messaging on their phone, whether they're asking for a referral on social media, whether they're talking through an AI device like Google Home or Amazon Echo. So making sure that you're positioned. Some of them are in an emergency mode. Something's broke and they're uncomfortable, right? And you're one of 50 million tasks on their list to get done. Is it a fun task for them? Are they excited about it? Not usually, okay? Excuse me. All right, so we're going to go over the technology, the framework. What do you need to have in place? We're going to go over the network. How do you need to be positioned and where? Also, why? Ultimately, the left-hand side, this is more advanced. This is where we need to get to in order for you to accomplish those goals of having more time, more money, and more freedom. You becoming the authority in your marketplace digitally, you leveraging technology to convert time to cash, you using automation and technology in order to automate those things that are redundant, time-consuming, exhausting, repetitive, feels like Groundhog's Day, increasing conversions, and getting to a point where you are consistently evaluating your plan to determine what's working, I'm going to do more of it, what's not working, I'm going to eliminate it and reallocate it to something that is, and what am I not doing yet that I need to be doing? And have so much clarity that you know exactly what that next step is. That's where we need to get to. Right now in this industry, particularly, there's a lot of framework that has to be done. And it's difficult for you guys because this junk is so complicated and it's changing all the time. And you have a whole bunch of hokey salespeople coming out with their charts and graphs and so forth, trying to pitch their wares and tears. And how do you even know what questions to ask them? How do you know how to validate whether they're worth their weight? Anybody had issues with digital marketing companies before? Web designers? Yes? No? I got a yes? No? Yes? Fair. I see it all the time. So my background I was vice president of global logistics and supply chain strategy for 4 retailers. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 12 years. I've built, bought, sold multiple companies, and I happen to have a team of experts in various elements of the digital marketing area. So I get to evaluate whether or not they're calling, I don't know how to say it, it's a 2-letter acronym, or not. So I get to watch them. Fair, you got that? Okay. So we've got to have vision. We've got to know where we're going. We have to know where we are right now. I'm back up. Where we are right now. We have to have a very, very clear picture, which means that we're going to have to do an analysis. We're going to have to run some reports. We're going to have to truly get down to facts, figures, and numbers in order to determine what's our current position. And then we're going to have to identify what's our future look like in various stages and what are we going to do to get there. And just keep plugging at it. The simple version, the website's first and foremost. That's where people convert. They have an instant first impression the second they land there. Google has an instant first impression the second it lands there, and they're very different. One is a robot, one is a human. One is based on mathematical equations, codes, and about 3,000 different requirements. The other one is based on feeling, ease of use, depending on the personality style. Make sense? Trust. Next is content. Your website with no content is a car with no engine. Nothing inside, there's no guts. Your content is your voice, it's your ability to speak. I have another poem for you. Next is marketing. So I have a website, what do I do with it? How do I market it? How do I take it to market? And then finally, it's third-party endorsements. Third-party endorsements matter to Google. That's how it evaluates the strength and quality of your business. Third-party endorsements matter to people. The process of digital marketing and offline marketing, it's actually identical. Consumers want the same thing. They want to know, do you have what I need? Are you up to date with technology and standards, and are you relevant, current, and whether people like you? Would you agree? Google wants the exact same thing. It's identical. People try and confuse it. Your website. All too often, a website is looked at as just a sales and lead generation tool. We're talking about freedom, time, and money, which means profits. Profits are what bring those. So we can't just look at a website as a digital marketing tool to be able to generate leads. We have to look at it as how can we improve customer service? How can we improve retention? How can we improve our recruiting efforts? How can we grow faster, scale faster? How can we improve our operations, reduce inefficiencies, redundancies? How can we upsell our clients easily? Go back to them with new products and services? How can we automate the scheduling process? How can we reduce the number of missed appointments? How can we reduce the labor necessary for scheduling? How can we automate reminders? How can we get this tool to generate new leads and opportunities? How can we help this, or how can we leverage this tool to showcase financing options so that more consumers are willing to buy bigger and better products, higher efficiency systems? How can we increase our residual income by having formal maintenance agreements, no different than my water delivery, my pest inspector, my cell phone service, my internet, and everything else that I have no issue having it on a credit card to save me time, money, and thought? How many of you have a formal maintenance agreement? Raise your hand. 2? Okay. How many of you have it set up so you have residual income attached to it? So we need to get there. Do you guys have anything you guys pay for on a monthly basis just to save you time, headache, so you don't have to think about it? An air conditioning system is a big investment. Does it require maintenance? Is a customer going to remember it once you install it and leave and they go back to their daily busy lives? They don't remember. Make it easy. Recurring revenue, is that going to help you get through your peaks and valleys when it's 70 degrees, the windows are open, the breeze is blowing through, you don't have hair, your beard, right? Okay, so building a website. You guys, this requires an army. Anybody ever hired the guy, Bob, just the guy, to build your site? Yes? No? Yes? Yes. Here's the thing. You need an army. There are so many different elements to it. I'm just going to take 2 of them. A designer, they go to school for arts. They have an arts degree. They work in Photoshop. Their houses look nice. They're decorated. Their garages for their cars, not for their office. They have real friends they go out with on Friday night. A developer, their garage is actually an office. Their idea of dressing nice is some flip-flops and torn jeans. Listening to techno music. They're engineers. Their idea of a Friday night is in front of their computer, knocking out some game war with toxic M49. They're different people. Anybody know an engineer? What do they like? Engineer, any engineer. Are you an engineer? Come on, an engineer, what do they like? You're yawning, but I'll open up some doors.
Yeah.
What do they like? Banker, financial planner, engineer. Meticulous, perfect. They're researching, they're analyzing the data. Do they make decisions fast? No, they make their decisions on data. Are they going to give you their best guess? Probably not. They're still doing research. That's an SEO engineer, someone that understands there's a set of algorithm changes, requirements that has to advise the designer, the developer, what to do, the content writer, in order to make sure that you are competing and meeting Google's requirements based on all of this data. Make sense? All right. And all of these guys think they're right. So you got to have somebody that knows how to run a business. You got to have somebody from a strategy standpoint that understands where the business is, what the market is, where they need to go, and how they need to get there, how consumers think. And a project manager to keep everybody pulled together and on task. Okay, so this process of digital marketing, it is a lot. Not going to get to everything right away. On the top, first, website and branding, first impressions. That's what matters. Next, content, critical, your voice. Next, CRM system. Maybe you're tracking leads and opportunities as well as current customer data. Maybe you're tracking client data and it includes email addresses. Okay, leads and opportunities are important. What if somebody contacts you, you lost the bid, you don't know why, but it was because they didn't have the money at the time, you have a great deal. These guys have an incredible rebate program, you've got a great financing option, would you like to go back to those leads and re-engage them? So it's very important that we capture all information. It's in one single database, and that database can be exported and imported into an email marketing system, into an appointment scheduling system, so that it's easy to reach out and take advantage of all those people that you've had interactions with, including existing customers. Blogging, it keeps you current. If you have a website and it's an online brochure and there's no new content, Google does not think you're relevant. Customers don't either. Reviews, we talked about that. Local listings, I'll talk about that in a while. Social media, they live on social sites. There is a huge piece of the population that will validate whether or not they can trust you by glancing at your social media sites. If the last time you posted content was 2014, what do they think? You're out of business. It's that simple. Can you use social media to generate leads and opportunity? Absolutely, but you've got predecessors, things that you need to do before that. Pay-per-click, landing pages, video marketing, email marketing, mobile app. That's later. Content. It's currency. It's your voice online, your ability to speak. It has hashtags and labels so it can be filed neatly. Why? Because people want to be able to find things easily. It's endorsed by many trustworthy sources. It's been around for a while, so it allows me to be resourceful. I expect to find anything I need online. I will start looking when I'm starting to unwind. You might be closed, and that's okay. Your website's still open. While you sleep the night away. I personally like videos. My husband likes blogs. I'll read the reviews. He'll check the FAQs. All the technical jargon just freaks me out. Without a translator, I can't figure it out. I just want to know you care. Whatever product or service you sell today, you should try wearing a disguise and seeing it through my eyes. If you can treat me like family, I will be raving a fan, of course, so don't leave without getting my feedback. I will surely endorse. Just make it easy so I don't have to click the next result. So, that being said, what Ferguson and Air Cold and Day and Night have presented to you guys today is really powerful. You guys agree? They've really done an incredible job. I've seen a lot of manufacturer and dealer programs, and this is probably the most comprehensive program I have ever seen. This is a huge element of it. I value tremendously the fact that they're investing in you guys, and they're investing in more than just the value proposition for products and services, but they're actually looking at what matters most, and that's how do I make your phone ring? How do I get your business growing? How do I make sure that you have an incredible reputation online so you have longevity in your business, so that it's easy to convert and it's easy to be able to bring in new business? Cool? All right, so we're going to go through a program, but first, grab your cell phones because I want you to get a copy of this document. Grab your cell phones, and you're going to send a text message to this number, and it's going to give you, because the document I'm going to show you, it's kind of tiny on the screen. So all you do, open up your text, and in the number area, just type in 44222, and then in the message area, type in Ferguson, but you don't need the quotes, and then hit send. If you need help, raise your hand. Michael, come help you. Scott will come help you. And then once you hit send, you're going to get a message back in a second, and it's going to say, please reply back with only your email. So then put your email address in there. And that's going to do a couple things. It's going to automatically send you the download of the document I'm going to go over next. You got it? Good to go?
You generated what, 30 leads or
Only voluntarily.
Yeah.
I just saved myself a lot of printer toner. That's what I did. It's actually more for the environment. All right, you guys. So this is how the program works. This is part of the Elite Dealer program. And this is powerful. This is really a big deal. They have obviously a lot of leverage. So they've been able to work with us to put together an incredible program. First off, there's 3 levels. Standard plan. Essentially, you guys are committing to do at least $50,000 to $100,000 in day and night equipment sales. And you have an investment of $3,000 per year in order to receive $18,000 to $20,000 in marketing services, including your website. That retail is for our preferred dealer programs, what they would normally pay. Our retail to an attorney that contacts us, what we would normally charge is significantly higher. This is basically a third, a third, a third. Elite plan, 100 to 250, and platinum, 250 or more. So 3,000, 4,500, or $6,000 per year, and you're going to be receiving between $18,000 and $26,000, $30,000 probably more or less of services. So I'm going to go through how this works. So year one, 99% of you probably need a good sweep of infrastructure, meaning that your website needs to be revamped for lots of reasons, because it wasn't designed well, it wasn't coded well, because it's not designed for SEO, or because in the last 4 months, Google has came out with some new requirements as well as some new recommendations, such as AMP, Accelerated Mobile Pages, such as Google Schema for HVAC businesses, which is a new way of developing websites specifically for HVAC in order to properly index your website. These are new. There's going to be 100 new changes between now and the next 2 years. So year one, we're going to focus on infrastructure. This is all the core things you hate to spend money on, but you got to do it. Bare minimum. Okay, website, SEO, 70 local listings account, your CRM system, hosting, maintenance, support. I said local listings and so forth. So I'll go over what's included in that. Year two, we don't have to build a website, so we're going to take those funds and we're going to reallocate them towards lead generation activities by increasing the number of key phrases that you have in your plan significantly, content and so forth that's necessary in order to really start driving new business, in order to start ranking on page 1, position 1 of Google. Year 3, your technology is outdated. Websites don't last that long, so we'll redesign, redevelop the website. What we'll have is a new list of requirements for 2 years that we have to adapt to, and we'll also have 2 years of history and data on how your website's performed. So what we didn't do right the first go around, based on data, take another stab at it. This is the standard process for all project management. It's research, plan, implement, evaluate, refine. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. It's not static. Remember I showed you what the reality is of technology's evolution and how it's changed. It was that big line going straight up. We need to be fast, right? And 2 years is pushing it. But at least we're going to start getting the right systems in place. We're going to start moving, okay? So what's included? You guys are going to get this. You probably already have it in your email address. Essentially, we're going to design and develop a website for you. I'm going to show you some of the ones that we've done so far so you can see the difference. I don't care if you're a 2-person company or if you're a 50-truck company. Excuse me. Your website's going to look like you've been around a while. Very professional, professionally designed, not like a template, and it's going to look current and relevant. It will be mobile responsive. It will have AMP accelerated mobile pages. It will have Google schema tied into it. Okay, we'll take care of the hosting, maintenance, and support. You're going to have a ton of different bells and whistles that if you went to have somebody quote you on coding these, it'd probably be 30 grand plus. You have an online troubleshooting system. You have a SARE calculator so consumers can go to your site and they can estimate what their savings would be by investing in a higher efficiency system. You're going to have an FAQ center, a terminology center. So all this content you know you need to have on your site is done. It's already there. We've taken care of that out of the gate. You'll also have 6 pages, I think it's 6, 8, or 10 pages of custom content writing specific to the products and services for day and night. So AC repair, AC service, AC maintenance, AC installation, AC replacement, AC tune-up, those are your primaries. Those are your primaries for your services you offer. Those are also the primaries for how consumers search, how they look. You need 1 page of content per query in order to even get in the drawer, and I'm not talking about being in the front of the drawer. No content, no game, no go. It's like coming to a baseball game with no bat, no balls, no glove. You got to have content. So will you have other things you probably want content for? Absolutely. You guys can upgrade and you can add more content, but those are the primaries. Slider designs, promotional graphics designs, a CRM system, an online scheduling system that allows somebody to come to your website, put in a request, it goes into a database, we can export it, we can use it for email marketing, tons of other things. It does all your appointment reminders for you. If you have a dispatching system, keep it. This is for the sales side of the business. If you don't have a dispatching system, you can use this for dispatching. Okay? So it just depends on how you want to configure it. But it's infrastructure. It's what every business, no business should be operating without a quality CRM system, at least the basics. Next is going to be local listings. So depending on which level you're in, you'll get a different number of accounts. For local listings, these are Merchant Circle, Yelp, Yellow Pages, White Pages, City Search, and keep going. These are powerful directories that Google wants to see you have a listing on in order to validate who you are as a company. Consumers want to see you on. AI queries pull from any of them that have maps. So we're going to set them up. We're going to pay the subscription fees for you because you got to pay for subscription fees with all these sites. We're going to also monitor all of your reviews for you. So anytime you get a review, good, bad, or indifferent, you get a real-time notification. Boom, review came in. So you can do what? Respond. You got to respond. Have to respond. So most of the stuff we can take off your plate. Some of it you got to participate. We're also going to do a process called duplicate suppressions. If you have any competitors that try and snag one of your listings with your company name, your company address, and their phone number, which happens often, that is considered a black hat lead generation technique. So we monitor these, and every month we process at least 100 duplicate suppressions, which is saying, nah, go, man, you're out. And we push them out of the way. All right. Next is going to be your Google business listing. So I've got a section. If we have time, we're going to go over the 3 G's of leads. Google Maps / business listings. Free money for now. I'll explain more. Also, Google search, and the third one, which is not part of what we do in this program, which is pay-per-click, Google AdWords. Facebook, we're going to make sure that you are there, that you have content posted on a regular basis, and that you are alive and kicking when somebody goes to look at your site. The positive reviews that come in, we'll also push those to your social media accounts. So we have different departments that are working together to reuse assets. Okay, the blogs that we write get sent to the social media team publishes them on your social media accounts. There's lots of interconnections and working pieces in between the different departments. We're going to start off with a very entry-level SEO program, entry-level, because in year 2, we have such a heavy focus on SEO that we need to at least get you started, get some of the practices going in, start building backlinks, start building some credibility on your website so that when it's time to really turn it on, you guys are good. We have a lot of dealers that have been participating in the program that have went ahead and added more phrases to their plan right out of the gate and have higher performing websites even than this because it's easy for them to do that since so much of the cost to get started is already covered by Ferguson. Also, we're going to be doing blogging backlinking. We'll make sure your analytics is set up. You'll have reporting. Every key phrase that's agreed upon, you'll know exactly what we do, when we do it, and you'll know where it ranks. So we're held accountable to making sure that those phrases rank. You'll never be in the dark as far as what phrases are in your plan or where they're ranking. And then local listings reporting, making sure that you know what's happening with all those local listings as well. Year 2, you'll see everything that's in yellow. Those are the things that start moving up because we're not having to build a website and so forth. Cool? That's a big deal. So you're going to effectively have a team of, the average team we probably have working on one particular project for Ferguson is around 20 different resources. A lot of times when you hire, you can't hire somebody internally because they only have 1 or 2 small skills. You need 10% of a really large group of really talented people in order to make this thing run. So let me show you, we've got a few more minutes. Let's go home, performance matters. How about this? So I'll show you one of the sites we did starting last year is Home Performance Matters. When you go to a website, you have a matter of seconds to be able to define or show somebody that's coming to your site who you are, what you do, where you do it, how you do it, what other people think about you, can they leave a review, and how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you. Seconds. You also have analytical personalities that doesn't fly with them. They want to do research. So they're going to go look. They're going to read more pages on your website. They're the ones that increase the number of pages viewed. You'll notice here, everything's got to be clean, clear. Navigations need to be clean and clear. A lot of times I'll go to HVAC sites and I see pages that says home, about us, services, something, contact us. So if you're looking for the word services, look at this number right here. When you put a page, so think of it like a filing cabinet. You guys seen Bruce Almighty? You know when they're in the warehouse and God's in the warehouse and he was like, look, anything you've ever said, anything you've ever done, anything you've ever thought is in this drawer, right? When you do a search, boom, this drawer flies across this entire warehouse and it's filled with pages based on their labels, how they're labeled, what the link says, what the H1 or the title says, what the metadata, description, all the nerdy crap. Let's jump, sorry. So, up there, you can't see that. This number is going to tell you how many pages are in that drawer. Anybody have better eyesight than I do? 6.75 billion pages. When you put those pages on your site that says home, about us, our services, products, brands, FAQs, every one of them. Biggest mistake on every website, 5.3 billion. FAQs, 1.6 billion. Awesome one. 2.2 billion. They have no value. They can't be filed. You got to be able to hand this page to a receptionist and say, hey, put this in the right drawer. That's what Google's looking for. So depending on all the labels, whether or not it's going to show up. So during our working lunch, these are some of the things we're going to cover. We're going to pull up some searches here. We're going to look at the cities you guys want to operate in, the key phrases people are looking for. And we're going to go over and figure out how much competition is in those drawers, what do you need to compete, and how quickly can you get up to page 1 so your phone starts ringing. Cool? So when you get to a design, it's got to be simple. It has to be very, very simple. It has to include all the elements that a consumer is looking for to make a decision. It just has to. Otherwise, you're out. Everything that we do wrong or we don't include or that we just bypass or we skip over because it's difficult or complicated or I don't have time, it just dilutes your percentage of opportunity, reduces your opportunity. It keeps you further and further and further away from time, money, freedom. So we got to get there. Design elements, good use of graphics. A lot of times I go on sites and the homepage, man, it's filled with so much content. It's just like, wow, as soon as you get there. Hey, consumers are visual. They like magazines. They like things that are pretty cars, pretty girls, whatever. They like things that look good. So our websites are no different. They also like things that are technical and functional. They like things that make it easy. So if they have a killer day, busy, their wife's got a honey to-do list, it's 6 miles long, and one of those things is call the HVAC guy. We get the system working. Get that thing replaced. You got to make it easy because their list of what they have to do all day is already so big. This is a problem. It's not a fun piece of that list. So we got to make it as easy as possible. So if it's the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, and they finally get to go work on that list, make it easy. They come to the site, give them an opportunity to schedule time with you. Give them an opportunity to set time to talk to you tomorrow on their lunch at noon. They're not going to go to 3 websites and fill out forms on all the sites. Okay? Make sure that it's really clear that you have tools on your site that's going to allow them to be able to get more information, get educated. How much can they save with a higher efficiency system? What financing programs do you have available? What kind of discounts, rebates, specials? It's tax time right now. We should be talking about taxes. We should be talking about tax breaks for high efficiency systems. If you have any local energy departments or energy breaks for high efficiency systems, we should be talking about those things. Okay, what our clients say, these guys have done a killer job. They went above and beyond with our recommendations. We had signs designed and printed. They go out, they take a video, they do a selfie with the family, and then they post it on social media, they post it on their website, and it's very interactive, very cool. People love that. All right? Making sure that it's very clear. If you have any kind of certifications, that they're clean and clear in place, you're looking for credibility. People are going to trust these kind of things, so we want to make sure from a design standpoint it's gorgeous. Simple things, footer of the website, we got to bring your truck, your brand, we got to bring it back in. They're seeing your trucks online. We got to be able to bring those back in. Okay, so how about this? We have 7 minutes. Do you guys want to go get food and come? Is food ready? Not yet? Is ready? You want to grab food and come sit back down and we'll keep going? We good? Get food. I got to get you while you're not sleepy. Get some ice water. Shake it off. Is it hot in here? No? Okay. I do. I don't know how to turn it off. Can you turn me off? Hang on. This one?
Good. Got some questions on that.
Okay, I'm on.
So I do HubSpot right now, and I'm having a hard time just keeping up with the content. Would you be able to incorporate that or give me my email? Do you know what HubSpot is?
Yeah, we're
Do you guys
certified
do
with
that?
HubSpot. Huh?
The redesign, let's say it works out with the redesign. What do you guys do? So what do you? Structurally, I know my D pages are horrible. I got some good, and we still do a little bit of blogging when I remember to pay for someone to blog, right? I want to spend.
Okay.
FastACService.com.
Get off my screen.
And I did the majority of it like anyone else. You know, it's nothing too crazy. I had but I did majority of all of it. And I wanted to hire someone, but it is expensive. I did go with all the backlinks. So we're a service company. The backlinks are horrible. Nothing's really to. If you notice, all the keywords are going to be service, 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 repair, repair, repair. Nothing is replacement.
Well, and so like this,
On my meta tag.
yeah, it doesn't say air conditioning. It says HVAC, which that's not consumer's gig.
So we did that. That was my base. So if we go back, when the reason I did that is I changed it for my AdWords. So if we go to just hit air conditioning, it's going to be air conditioning repair. And this page, what I was assuming is the meta tag on this one's going to be more focused on air conditioning repair. The issue we're having is I need to get more focus and developing enough content to go local with cities, because it's great to bring in traffic, but if it's not local and
No, there's no city pages, service areas.
I don't have any city. I do have a couple city pages, but they're not developed. So if we go scroll all the way to the down to the bottom, there's going to be a couple, but they're not really geared to SEO. And then I got caught I got caught for duplicating content. We were doing some black hat, like just
How long ago?
stuffing. Not too long. I just got we did a
disavow crawl
where they be a recall where they re-look at your website and they get you off. But I always penalize. We've seen a little bit of drop in volume, but it's not like
Do you know if it was blacklisted or graylisted?
It was not graylisted. It was they just basically said you're not practicing on our standards.
Okay.
And she revised it, and we did, and then they basically got me off the list. But we're looking at changing it. Some of the majority of it's all I did. I would like to get something a little better. It's simple and it's easy.
Okay. So the way this is set up right now, these are set for consumers, but not for Google because they're not individual pages. It's not going to index it.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's expensive. Now let's make content for every page, right? Or what do you guys do?
Content's expensive. So what we do on the content writing side, it's $100 per page.
Okay.
Okay. 6, your primaries are included with the program.
Okay.
Which is you need AC repair, service, installation, maintenance, tune-up, and replacement. You need those.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about with cities though? So how do you do?
Cities is different.
So
I'm actually going to cover
that. But how do you do for cities other than going for?
So for cities, we use consumer-generated content, so we don't have to pay for it. So if you go here, our service areas, every one of the city pages is generated from consumer reviews. So we developed the site with SEO schema.
I know schema, so you're basically coding in the back end, yeah.
Yep. So each one of these pages is optimized for city first, service second. So you can only go for 2 services, heating and air conditioning. But you can go for unlimited cities. Whereas in your page content, you can go for unlimited services, 1 to 2 cities. So if you have a reverse model and you do, on this end, you use consumer-generated content through, there's only 2 review systems that exist that have schema capabilities and an open API where we can connect it properly into a website.
Okay.
Only 2. Independently, they don't work on their own, but when you tie it into a link building program, on-page SEO, snippets of content, now you have, it's relevant to the location, it's current because you have frequency of content, and it is trusted because it's review-based and backlink link built too.
The review-based is going through Google, or is it going through Yelp, or is it going through
Your website.
the API that you guys are developing?
Your website, the API.
Okay.
So we have the ability to balance them, which means that we route reviews to different locations depending on the goal at that moment. So if you don't currently show in Google business listings, search results, the top 3 for your city that your office is physically located in, then that's our number 1 priority. We're driving them there. If you're already there, you're sitting pretty, you got the most frequent and the best reviews, then we're going to drive them here.
Okay.
I don't care about Yelp and all that. Totally don't care. The only time we're going to route stuff there is if you have a negative review and I need to modify the number, the average percentage.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't care. You don't own it.
So does this qualify? So like, let's say you go on AdWords and you can do your extensions. Would I be able to use this as my extension on my AdWords as well? Because right now, like, they do a review and you can't.
Where's your landing pages for your AdWords accounts?
It's going to be that one for air conditioning repair.
Okay, so that's first and foremost. So
yeah.
So I would start further back on your.
I'm keeping the words
small. On your AdWords. Never drive them to your website.
Okay, just
You
make
immediately
just
lose
make a
them.
landing
You
page.
have to have
Just-
custom landing pages.
Just
for
the
each one of
landing
them.
pages, no, get rid of the top bar, let them not go anywhere.
Yes.
Just
Michael,
stay-
show you
keep
some.
them
You have
on
your
spot.
computer with you? Michael, show you some.
I know the theory of a landing page. It's
He'll
just
show you
just
how
keep
they
them
should
there,
be
you
done.
convert them, you build a little bit
Yeah.
of value, and convert them into a funnel.
Yeah.
Hopefully
So start with that first. No duplicate content. So the reviews, they go to one location. You don't have them go to multiple locations or you get duplicate content penalties as well. If you want to showcase a review on somewhere else, turn it into an image and put it in a rotator. Then you can use the review, but you don't get dinged.
So is this cookie cutter, like, or are you guys going to
Well-
go in, or what do you guys do?
So it's cookie cutter in the sense of every year we get smarter and smarter and smarter, and we know HVAC. So there's certain things we learn and we do them consistently, and we don't mess with those things. Everything as far as your site, totally custom. This is Blue Frost. Cookie cutter, elements of it are because we know that's what works. This is Weathers. Residential. So you saw this one. So from a design standpoint, they're all different. From a functionality standpoint,
the
every
back end.
time we learn something, it goes in and everybody gets it because we know that's what it needs. Okay, we gotta rock and roll.
All right, guys. The next phase of this is extremely interactive. She'll pull up your specific website if you would like. There's no pressure for you to share. She is very kind and gentle about the critiquing of the sites. But that being said, I want to point out a couple things because as we go through this, obviously if you're really busy, you need to leave, feel free. On the back of each of the dealer agreements, there is what the 3 programs that she talked about as far as just the basics and what the cost is, and then also in the book, the dealer program itself, there are 3 pages on the CI Web program as well. The interviews that you can sign up for are 100% free. So if you think it might fit, or you're possibly whatever, if there's an inkling that it's something you might be interested in, go through the interview, because by the time you're done with the interview, they're extremely thorough. They're also recorded for future reference, so that you can go back and go, what did she say? Or I don't remember something. You got something to refer back to. By the time that interview process is done, you're going to know whether or not this fits you or your business. So that being said, I'll let Jennifer get back into it. I do want to, because I probably won't come back up here. I do want to thank you for your time and your business. So if you do need to leave, please let me know. I'll step outside and shake your hand and thank you personally.
Awesome. Ready to rock and roll? Yeah? Anybody have a site that you want me to look at? Yours or competitors? Any bold ones? Can debate it internally. No bold? No problem. I got 100. Got about 1 billion I can look at. Yes? You good? I love it. What's the address? All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a simple version of what we will actually do when we get together to do a strategy session. So, and this is designed to just be helpful, okay? What you don't know can kill you. Okay. All right. And whatever I find out is probably 99% of the case with everyone in this room, and you're just the one that's volunteering. I'm just saying that. Guarantee it. Very rarely am I going to look at somebody's website or digital marketing presence and be like, wow, all right, cool. There's also, on the flip side, not a website, including the ones that we've built, that I can't rip to shreds. So, because the budget you would need for perfection, which I don't believe exists, is massive. So is it W3C compliant? I mean, from a coding standpoint, it's ridiculous. So everything is relative. All right. So when I first go to the site, I'm just going to do visual view first. So right out of the gate, first thing is the phone number is just text. It's not click to call. So I should be able to tap this phone number, and like this, it automatically places a phone call. Oh, he's going to come turn me on. Luckily, he's my husband. All right. So.
Why is that important?
But, oh, I totally was. I was in another place. I'm sorry. Now my face is hot. Okay. So why is it important? Have you guys ever done a search on your phone and you found a website you're looking for and you tap that number and nothing happens and you're like, it's annoying. Yeah, it's one of those phone write out centers. That's anger management problems, by the way, different class. So it's irritating. You gotta have a click to call number. Very, very important. Next thing, right out of the gate, as soon as I get here, the address is typically going to be something you'd find in a lower left-hand corner. And unfortunately, when you put the address in the front in a header area, you can narrow a consumer's mindset to the city they see on here, and you can lose someone real quick. That's good. So I would take it out of there. It also needs to be connected to your Google Maps account. Okay, same thing with your phone number, needs to be clicked down here. So your header area, what I'm looking for is a call to action that's in the header. Your top right section, you've got it right putting the phone number in here because this is from a heat map. The most traveled place and the highest profitable place on a website is this top right corner. But I've got schedule service down here, same color as the background. If you're going to put a call to action on there, which is a CTA, make it pop. Make it a button, make it clickable, make it a different color. You want it to stand out. So I get into home. Well, I'll come back to that. So what I'm looking for now is interactive and design. I like that you have, so interactive would be if this continued, if it was a feed, so that every time they came, it was new information. Do you want to be careful with that when somebody comes back? Oh, it is. Got it. Okay, good. I did not see it look like an image. All right, that's good. So this, very, very smart. Let me just check one thing. So you have the first two sets of goals as far as content goes. Goal number one, primary services. If somebody was typing in a computer, AC repair, AC installation, AC replacement, so forth. Same thing on the heater furnace side. Goal number two, cities, because you need to start getting placed. You're not going after air conditioning repair across the entire nation. You got to dive into the particular city. So you have to tell Google via individual content pages what cities you're in. So this is very, very smart that you have individual city pages. And what I love about that, what is this? I know who built your site, web app. All right, I'm gonna let that run. So there's a particular company that does this on every site. And this is how they build websites. That one chunk of junk eliminates the value of the pages. Google doesn't understand what web app page ID 555 is. And that's what Google's going to see first. That's the crawlable element. So no garbage in URL structures. No question marks, no page ID equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. None of that. Has to be very, very clean. This is a clean permalink. That, ugh, that's an issue. Web app. So right out of the gate, structure, which is the code, the backend content management system, that's the challenge. Is getting this into a WordPress would be very, very beneficial immediately. All this work that you've done on all these content pages. I love the fact that you don't have a tremendous amount of duplicate content. This site is free. It's out there. You can use it, and it'll help you with duplicate content checking to make sure no one's. There's a lot of manufacturers out there that offer a whole bunch of dealer programs, and they kill the dealers through duplicate content, through routing all of their leads and opportunities from their social media sites to the manufacturer site where there's an awesome dealer locator on there. So you want to avoid that, and that's an important element of it. So you don't want anything that's over 30%. Really important. Okay. So this is awesome. This is the best thing you have going on your site. So it needs to be tied into a link building program and an SEO program, and you need unique content on this. So I was actually just going to show you these. So you see on here, on this page, I have this link called service areas, and every city has an individual page. There are only 2 review systems that exist that have the technology to have content that is indexable by Google, displayed on a website using Google schema for HVAC. Google schema for HVAC. So this is how we track our city pages, just like the ones that you have. We take every one of those city pages, and then we monitor the rankings on those city pages through backlinking to those or link building to those city pages. So in order to get in the drawer, you got to have the page. In order to move from the back of that drawer to the front of the drawer, you got to have new and fresh content on a regular basis. You have to have links that are coming in from third-party sites like social media, local listings, directories, and so forth. Everything is interconnected. The more popular the page becomes, the further to the front of the drawer it shows up. Cool part is, if your website is coded properly, what'll happen is this city page, so this is, now, one thing that's backwards on this, service pages are, come back to that. Service pages are supposed to be the service phrase first. This is called front loading your primary key phrase. So I would want air conditioning repair on a service page to be first, and then say in Abraham and surrounding cities. Abraham, California and surrounding cities. That's how I'd want it to look if it was up here. These are city pages, which means you front load the city first, and then you put air conditioner repair and furnace repair at the end. Okay, and you don't have to duplicate. It could be air conditioning and furnace repair, and you'd get the same value without, this is too many characters for Google. You've got limits on how many characters you can have here. So automatically, these URLs are out of compliance with the number of characters you're allowed to have, and these are out of compliance. It would be better if it said Abraham, California, air conditioning and furnace repair, the best choice, something like that. Awesome. You need to just implode the content management system and just start scratch, clean database, clean URL structure. If it was me, because you got a lot of valuable content, you've obviously worked hard at generating reviews, which is genius. The process of generating reviews, you need it for multiple reasons. So these sites, I was just going to show you rankings. Not that. Okay. So this search, notice it's city first and then it's heating services next. The particular review system you're using, if your website's coded right, can get you this. What does it have on it? What does it have? My shiny blinky stars, right? Has my stars. So click-through rates in an organic environment, which I'll explain that in a second. If you are on page 1, position 1, you're going to capture around 18% of the organic clicks. Who's going to click through? Page 1, position 2, 10%. Page 1, position 3, 7%. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Nothing on page 2. The single factor today that is changing these numbers is Google schema, is those shiny stars. where you can have a URL that's sitting on page 1, position 3 or 4 or 5 that's actually capturing the leads, the click-throughs, as if you were on page 1. So you're headed in the right direction all the way around. Very, very smart. And there's hundreds of systems out there. If I'm going to go through the hassle of getting the review, I want the review to provide me multiple assets. I want it to help people convert because they see trust. I want it to help Google see relevancy. I want it to help me get found for specific search phrases in specific cities, and I want it to get me some new business. I want everything. A lot of times we do one activity and we only get this tiny little benefit from it. When if it was leveraged as an asset across multiple channels, you can get massive value for it. So very, very smart. Kudos to you. These guys that build these sites, they all use the same system. So I have to make a hardcore call on that one. Because you got that's right. Okay, now services for key phrases. No one looks for cooling. It's an industry term. It's you guys use it, but consumers don't use it. They don't say cooling repair. It doesn't make sense to them. They say air conditioner repair, air conditioning repair, AC repair. The number one search is AC repair. If you're East Coast, West Coast, air conditioning repair, oddly enough, in the central states is what they look for, which is an action. No slash, only AC. They don't put a slash in there. That's, again, industry term. So you're missing your core. You know, you need pages, heater, repair, heater, service, heater, installation, heater, maintenance, heater, and so forth, tune-ups and so forth. And then same thing on the air conditioning side. You really, really need those. Duct cleaning, so duct cleaning service is going to be better than duct cleaning information. Duct cleaning information would be more like a blog post that supports that key phrase, but go for the key phrase first. Indoor air quality. Consumers are funny. For IAQ, they're usually looking for whole house air purifiers, whole house air purification systems, UV light installation, humidifiers, dehumidifiers. They're looking for those. And it's installation, replacement, maintenance, service. Same thing. Well, there's no drop down. So because there's no drop down, Google's not going to index this. A lot of images on the screen, not enough content. Oh yeah, you got a one page per service, per city, per search. Also, as you get good at this, you get the basics done, and then switch over and go for the customer who's doing research in advance. So consumer goes to buy a new house, inspector does an inspection on the house, and in the report it says air conditioning and heating system this thing is old. I'm going to let it fly. I'm not going to flag it, but I'm telling you, you need to get a new heating and air conditioning system, right? And that happens all the time for new home buyers.
So let's say you said go for cities, right?
Uh-huh.
How do you get away from the copy and paste of just taking out the city and swapping it with another one and not get penalized to Google by doing that? Or do you have to create unique content for each page?
Awesome. Very, very good question. So when you're creating content for your services pages, that's a custom copywriter. They're expensive. They typically charge $100 a page if they know how to write for authority and conversions and for SEO. Anything lower than that, you're getting somebody that doesn't know SEO or doesn't know conversion writing. They can't do both. They're high-end writers. That would cost an arm and a leg if you had to do that for every city and every variation, so we're not doing that. So in order to get custom content, this system allows the content to be indexed as new, fresh content and get the page recrawled every time somebody which this is the only company that allows this. You go on a service call, you get done installing everything, you do your normal process of showing them the thermostat, how it works, how to program it, you go through what you got done, all normal, right? In this environment, the second you get on site to a property, you check in. Now, don't do this. He shouldn't have done that. He checked in because he was working with our team. But you would check in and say, installing a new air conditioning system. Checking in and Mike has the app on his phone. He can show you if you guys want to look at it. All you do is click a button, check in. You can take a selfie with the new unit. So my young guys are funny. because they will take selfies, they'll do little live streaming videos and say, hey, I'm out here, check this out, you never want this to happen. And they'll, show crawl spaces or go, look, way too big a unit, too small space, this is totally inefficient. They're fun. The young guys are funny, and they're really good motivators for guys that are not comfortable with some of the apps. But they take a picture, they check in, boom, you have new content in the city. Then at the end, when you're showcasing everything, at the end, you're there, you're looking at them in their soul, staring through their retina, and you're like, I need you to do me a favor. Only if they're happy people. If they're grumpy people, check in and call it a day. Well, say adios. If they're happy, ask them for a review. Say, can I send you a text message real quick? It'll only take 2 seconds. It's like click, 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 click all the 5 stars, as many as you want, probably all 5, and leave me a quick review. That would be awesome. We have a competition going on in the office, so I'm really working hard to do this. Get the review on site while you're with them. Hey, is it easy? You do it all the time. It's easy. Easy. You're right there with them. Consumers feel bad if they say something bad when you're there and you're looking at them.
How do you verify the lead? How do you show this is something that they get a lot? Everyone does it too. I have a lot of friends, right? And if I send out the link to everyone,
it's not a link. It's text message. And if you send it out, remember it's coming from your app and the GPS on your phone. So you want to be with them. Can you check in when you're having lunch at a restaurant? Absolutely. I've seen guys to build their city pages. This one specifically. These guys checked in at every city. I think they just drove around the entire place and checked in at every one of them. So you want to be careful you don't have too many check-ins and no reviews, so you need the reviews.
So you go 2 parts though. So that covers your city part, right? So
Yep.
then you still have your service side, right? Or
Yep.
you're going for like long-term keywords, your keyword that you're going after.
Yep.
If that's all on one page, or does it automatically just tag it to its AC installation? Like it tags it to AC repair? How does that work?
Okay, so the math is on your service pages, you have unlimited cities, 2 phrases. Because other than that, you're too long. And if you got really long cities, you can only have 1. So your permalink, your meta title, your page title, your description, all of that will be too long. So in the service areas, unlimited cities, 2 services, air conditioning and heating. That's it. In the service pages, you can have unlimited services and you only have 2 locations and surrounding areas. So you always have to put on there and surrounding areas so people don't get bought into or immediately say you're out. It's not my service area. Hello guys, how are you? You hungry? You can go get food. Okay. So the combination of them both is what creates those interconnections, and that's what Google starts ranking you and placing you for different locations. Does that make sense? In one area, consumer-generated content, free. Love it. In the other area, you're paying for content writing. Is what it is. Blogs are different because, remember the drawer, the drawer in the warehouse, right? Putting 1 page in the drawer gives you this much space. Putting multiple pages in the drawer, especially if you're in a small town, gives you position 1, 2, 3, and I have ones where we've gotten our highest ever is 9 positions on page 1 of Google for 1 phrase and city. Oh gosh, Poughkeepsie, spell it. Huh. So notice this one, page 1, 2, 3, 4. That's game on.
So once you get all 9 pages, basically all 9 of page 1, that's when you take out a billboard and plaster that phrase all over the place. So people, just think of that phrase, right?
1000%. That's how you use advertising. Top of mind. You start setting it. Anybody seen, what's the movie where they planted the number 53 in people's heads all day long? The football game, and they bet. What is it? That. Yes. That movie. That's how you use that. Absolutely. And you start nailing it, right? You start subconsciously implanting that in people's heads, and all of a sudden, they know what to look for, and you own it. So this takes time, but it's doable. Doable. Not doable in LA. So this number, the lower the number, the faster you can get ranked. It's also the less opportunity, because this number typically has to do with population. Poughkeepsie has a small population. Now, do they own 100% of all the oil and gas conversion business? Absolutely. I have a guy that's in California, and when he first talked to me, he said, there's a key phrase I think we should go after. We have an earthquake shutoff valve. I was like, you can shut off earthquakes? So I didn't know what it was. So we strategized and whatnot, and he wound up killing it, and he owns all of it, right? That's his. It's his money. So for us, not saying for everybody, for us, if we have all things considered, we've met Google's requirements, we're in a current framework website, we have the right content, we have social media activity, local listings activity, and so forth, it takes us 30 days to get to page 1 of Google for 100,000 pages. So we can move somebody 100,000 pages every 30 days. So if you go after a search phrase, give me some phrases and locations for here. Van Nuys. Is that right? Is there a Georgia too? Okay, so for AC repair, there's only 296,000 pages. That's 90 days for us. Not that difficult. The very first 3, what are these? Pay-per-click ads. The next one, what are these? So this is Google Maps. Okay, Google My Business. Right now, free. Free to set up a Google Maps account. They are going to display 3 featured listings on any search online. Your AI devices, your phone, is pulling from that, not from organic and pay-per-click. When you talk to your phone and it pulls a result and tells you what's out there, it's not pulling from organic and pay-per-click. Right now, it's recorded, so it'll be wrong 6 months from now. In order to get in this showcase, A, you got to have a physical address that's been verified in this particular city. B, you got to have the most, the best, and the highest quality reviews. Easy game to play. It's not about lots of content and everything else. It's just focus on reviews. So, your review system. We call it review balancing, which means there's actually logic that goes into thinking, where do I need the review to go to get the best results? This is low-hanging fruit right now. So if you had a physical address in Van Nuys and you were not showing up here, then I would use all my energy. I would route those reviews that you get right out of the gate here, get this, nail it down, create a buffer so you have more than these guys, then reroute them back to your website. Nail that first, because that's an easy win. However, the game of digital marketing, don't ever put all your eggs in one basket. Ever. One, because everything is interconnected, so it requires it leans on each other. In order to have one thing work well, you got to do the other things really, really well. The other reason is these guys change the flipping rules all the time. This is not too far from you compared to where we're from. What's different about this? They're ads. That's not free anymore. So we had a group of clients that were in this area, and we kept telling them, and they're like, nah, we're good. We get all our business local area right here. Good. I'm like, you should really diversify your marketing efforts and get some leads coming in from other areas. Nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent. Overnight, Google decides they're going to test this new process of having paid ads similar to pay-per-click for local listings for their Max program. Everyone previously listed in there that was banking on their phone ringing overnight literally dropped. Their phone stopped ringing. Their business tanked because of that. Like this. They called up. Oh, crap. Have you seen this? Look at what's happening over here. Google started in Sacramento, then stretched it out, and currently I've seen it move to, okay, so it's moved in the last week. Last week it was in Concord, and it hadn't made it out to Antioch? Okay, it hadn't made it out here that far, and it wasn't in Pleasanton. It was just covering San Francisco, Richmond. So on one hand, take advantage while it's there. I don't know how far this will go. I do know Google makes changes. So you remember that you used to have ads over on the right-hand side? Those are gone. They're gone indefinitely. This is a new process. So don't get too comfortable in anything. I had a guy yesterday and he said, Jen, the majority of my business I make it on, I do it on Facebook. And he was like, I'm doing well. I don't have a website. I'm not doing much. I was like, okay, were you familiar with Google's Facebook change? The algorithm change, what's happened over the last 3 weeks? He was like, nah, not really. So Facebook made a change to their Edge rank, which is the display of content, and said that if you auto-schedule content for a future post, it's not going to have as high a value and it's not going to be shown to your network. It also changed, this is months ago, it said that if you want to do boosting, if you have any kind of call to action or any kind of sales messaging inside your boost, you're out. You can't boost. So I'm saying that because you got to be really agile, which this all goes back to mindset. It's having the right mindset, not being angry if something changes. It just is what it is. Just roll with it and be agile, be flexible, and keep doing. What's working, do more of it. What's not working, reallocate it. And what am I not doing? Start doing it. Keep having that mindset. We can't just go through this without really analyzing everything that we're doing to see whether or not it's working. I was seeing if there's an ad down there. Notice the big companies are doing that. They're all based on schema, right? They all have these. So the great part about the internet is if you do it right, if the design of your website looks professional and it showcases you, you've been around for a while and lots of people love you, it doesn't matter what size company you are. You can compete with the big guys with your eyes closed. And we have small clients, absolutely, that came into the game. There was only 1 or 2 of them. We have one in California, Specialty Air. We just stopped by his office last time we were out here. And he literally was like, I'm playing with the big boys. And he's like, what? I was like, so what do you think this comes from? He's like, I attend all the webinars. I keep getting educated. And as he's talking, the guy that sat in the audience and was like, this is totally over my head. I don't want anything to do with it. Just do it. And I don't want to participate. All of a sudden is learning. And he's starting to sound like us. And it's working. I mean, his office is growing. He's got multiple trucks. He just got a new office location. So it's really cool. All right. So, just some design elements and stuff is really going to help. You want a clean view, content. So let's go specials. Don't show that. Oh, sorry. I'm off. My bad. Gallery. So some ideas that'll help you on that. When you do promotions, make the graphics have a similar design each time so people get familiar with them. And also, brand them properly. Make sure certain elements, your phone number's on it and that, and make them the size that Facebook requires for their images. Because then if you design a promotion and you're going to use it on your website, you can reuse it on your blog post as a featured image. You can reuse it on your social media site. You can reuse it next year. Okay, so continually make assets you can reuse. All right, anyone else have a site you want me to go look at? Oh, wait. Hang on a second. Let me go pull up your report. Okay, so this is one of many reports. When we sit down and we go through a strategy session, our team of analysts is going to pull those reports and we're going to go through them with you. This is kind of a 60,000 foot view of what are all the pieces that you have going on. Okay, so the more of these pieces you have going on, it's not evaluating the technical structure of your website or any of that. But do you have a Facebook page? Is it connected properly? That's important. Do you have a Twitter account? Is it connected properly? That's important. Do you have reviews? How many reviews? Is it connected properly? So you have all these reviews, but because the page isn't identified properly, Google's, it's not seeing those reviews the way it should be. Where did this go? So one of the biggest mistakes that people normally make on their review pages, what is this? Okay, these are linked. So if it's linked, it needs to be a new color, because otherwise you just go there and they're out. Yeah.
On the city page.
Your city pages, yeah. If it's a link, because I didn't think this was linked. The other thing is, because this is the Nearby Now app, I would use Nearby Now for the widget for this page. So on your home page, no, it's not too bad. I was going to say, sometimes that slows the site down a little bit. But on here, the drawback of having non-linked and linked pages is if somebody hovers over San Bernardino and it doesn't link, then they don't keep looking. So you want to it just dilutes the probability of them pulling through. The other thing is a lot of times I see review pages and the URL bar says testimonials. No one searches for testimonials. They will search for AIRTECH. Where are you located? They're going to look for your company name and the word reviews. So because of the way your website is structured, all of the interior pages are not getting the kind of ranks they're not going to as long as you stay in that technology. If this website was structured, the infrastructure, the code was structured right, then you would see AirTech AC / AirTech AC reviews Pasadena. You would see that URL structure here with that page linked to, and it would be on top of Yelp. So if somebody's looking at reviews, they're doing their research, I never want them to see Yelp first. I never want them to see Better Business Bureau. I don't want them to see anything but your site, and I want your site to take up some space, okay? You want this to be first. It's their whole application. We've replaced tons of those sites. And there's lots of them. Yodel does it. Yellow Pages site does that. Wix does it. There's tons of applications you use to build websites that are just... and those are the ones that call you the most. So, okay. So I would definitely do that. Now, let me go back to this report real quick. Where is it? So that's going to help this be indexed properly. Your local listings, that's cool. Last time website was updated 7 days ago. That's your reviews. Boom. Google sees every time you give a new review, Google says it's new. Well, so that's based on your robots.txt file, your sitemap, and the frequency of changes on your website. So it's a crawling schedule. So when you first launch a website, let's say you launch your website and you don't make any changes to it for a year. Google came back to it in the first week, nothing changed. Came back to it 3 weeks later, nothing changed. Came back to it 4 weeks later, nothing changed. Boom, you're on a low crawling schedule. But because every time Google crawls a site, there's new stuff there, you can crawl it every day. So that's perfect. It's really good. It's really good. Website speed is pretty good. That's good. That's going to go down with some of the things you need to do to get better marketing. So in order to counterbalance that, you want to use AMP. So your accelerated mobile pages and your Google Schema will help. You need a bigger website with more functionality and more content, which is going to slow it down. Those things will help speed it back up. The site's mobile friendly. That's good. Responsive. You're doing AdWords, but no keywords are detected. Are you doing pay-per-click right now? You have it turned off? Okay. So for pay-per-click, gentleman that was here asked me a question about his pay-per-click ads. So just a side note, if you're doing pay-per-click, one, don't ever drive them to your website. They need to go to a landing page that has no navigation, no blog, no pages, none of this, all this other stuff. They need to go somewhere where it is one landing page with only the phrases for the season, for the service, for the product they're looking for right now, with a great call to action, a great promotion, and one way to convert on that page. You don't want to send them to your main page. The other thing to consider with pay-per-click is you've got to do things that are zoned. So if you think about your business on a map, Pasadena.
And that's part of one of the services that we can add through the CI Web program, which also is a co-opable service as well. So we will actually help some of with ad campaigns.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So for a pay-per-click ad, think about it like this. Your business is located right here. In the heat of summer, when it's hot as all get out, you guys are busy, you're slammed, and so forth. You may continue to run a pay-per-click ad, but you're going to create a zone that has a small location like this, and you're only going to allow the key phrases that are your highest profit margin items. So you're willing to spend money on pay-per-click only for installation and replacement. That's it. As the weather changes and you start getting into 70 degrees, wind blowing in your hair, you start to expand that area, and you may drive a little further, and you may do something that's not that profitable. So you may do service and repair work or maintenance work on a pay-per-click ad, which has a high cost per click, cost per conversion, I should say. And you may go further and open it up to a new tier. And then again, you're going to scale up, scale down. So the positive part about pay-per-click is with some sophistication and some research and planning, you can implement something that you can scale up, scale down, turn it on, turn it off with the seasons, with the flow. Boom, storm comes, floods, something, right? You can turn it on, turn it up. You can go after something that's regarded to restoration right out of the gate because of storms. So that's the benefit. SEO doesn't work like that. SEO takes time. You got to keep adding and adding. Ultimately, you need like 500 key phrases that you're on the page one of Google for in order to really make this thing start humming. And it takes time to do it. Okay, does that help? Okay, sweet. Yeah, so your SEO team needs to have a spreadsheet that's tiers. So you need to be able to go turn on tier 1, turn on tier 2, turn on tier 3, turn on tier 4, scale back to tier 2, and it's got to be like this. You have to be quick. Okay, where'd your thing go? Organic. So organic referrals, approximately 7 a month. Air conditioning, air tech conditioning. My guess is the majority of your phrases are branded phrases. If you look at your analytics as far as what they're finding you from, they know about you. So we need to change that. We need to make those be key phrases that are non-branded key phrases in order to attract those new consumers. Amount of content, good. Backlinks 25. This never can stop. You always have to be link building in order to continue to compete there. So if I do AC repair Pasadena. So you've got 489,000. Now, here's the reality behind this and some math. One, if you guys wind up taking advantage of this program, we need to build a new website. Depending on how many pages you have for us to transfer content for, which we'll run a report and determine how many pages that is, that's going to change the timeline as far as how long it takes to get done. It can take 45 days for a low page count website. It can take 90 days for high page count. So we start working backwards. For this particular phrase, how many months do you need in order to get ranked on page 1? You remember the math? 30 days per 100,000, yes. So you need 4.5 months, almost 5 months. So right now, this might not be the phrase you go after, right? Because it's going to place you towards the back end of summer. You've got X number of days for your website. And I'll tell you this, if you do this, when it comes to getting your website built, man, you got to buckle down and show up. I know you guys are going to get busy soon. And the worst thing you can do is start a website project right before your season starts. So and then you disappear and we can't reach you, and then it sits until it's done, but we can't get approval. So what you want to do, we'll make it as easy as possible, meaning we only need you a couple times. I need you to approve your design. I need you to approve your content. I need you to give us your logins and passwords to be able to make the thing live. And I need you to do a final review and approval for go live. That's it. But you got to buckle down. We're willing to meet evenings or weekends or whenever we need to in order to help you get it done, but it's got to happen. Otherwise, you'll wind up stretching it out. I don't want the thing to go over 60 to 90 days. It needs to stick in that window in order to get the thing live. Give our SEO team time in order to be able to start generating the backlinks and building content so that we can start getting you ranked and your phone can start ringing for a couple of those phrases in your plan for summer. So you guys have math. Most digital marketing agencies do not understand HVAC. And I was one of them. I stood on stage for 10 years standing up and saying, it doesn't matter what you're selling. It could be cups or handbags or HVAC equipment or cars or whatever. It's all the same. No, you guys are different. You guys, like, People buy a whole different set of products and search for a whole different set of key phrases for 5 months out of the year versus the other 5 months, and you got 2 months of wishy-washy, right? On both sides. So promotions are different. Like, it's complicated. You guys are beasts. So timing-wise, you got to think about your months. So in the middle of summer, technically, you should be working on your SEO phrases for winter. In the middle of winter, you should be working on your SEO phrases for summer. Even though in your social media environment, it's real time, is what's happening right now. So it's really important that you guys think through timing. We always reach out. We do. We ask for quarterly strategy sessions. We hope for spring and fall strategy sessions where we can sit down, go over the results, go over the program, and we go through what's working, do more of it. What's not working, let's reallocate it, do something different. And it's not just about us, it's all the marketing things that you guys may be doing. And what are we not doing? What's next? Keep having that what's next mindset, and it really makes it easy. So that's interesting. So when you start to type something in and Google gives you a recommendation, I haven't seen that, Pasadena quality AC repair. Do you have some dogs in the area? No, sometimes I'll see something like this. If there's somebody that's scammed local people and it's gotten around in a particular area where they feel like they have. These are LSIs and these down here. So this is showing you right out of the gate what people frequently look for. You need to pay attention to these. That, you see that? That's why I said one of your number one, it has to be. So you guys have done well with branding, and you've got enough searches that are coming in, their branded searches. They know who you are, they're doing that search. So that's good. We need to get a little more generic. All right, so let me look at this one real quick. 466, only one AdWord. That's a company name, it's a brand. Okay, because I was gonna say that's weird that you would see that kind of a search. That now makes sense. None of your interior pages are showing. You guys have a lot of content and some really good information. Just a structure change is going to give you better results. You notice how almost every search I've done so far, it's your home page only that's displaying, but you got all these interior pages that could be displaying. Anybody else have a site? You get all the love. You are awesome. Anybody else have a site you want me to look at, even if it's a competitor? Someone? ASM-air.com. Okay. Where are they located? Is this them?
Yep.
Is this you or someone else? Okay, awesome. Okay, so 37 reviews. Do you guys provide emergency service?
No.
Okay. Good stars on Facebook. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into your site. So right out of the gate, on one hand, they did a great job at one thing, which is they have you on an SSL certificate, which is a secure socket layer. Google likes that and gives credence to sites that are secure. On the other hand, they set up your site on the server on the wrong URL, and they separate them. So Google has a preferred URL structure, which is www.mywebsite.com. You also have another version, which is HTTP or HTTPS without the W's.com. When you're building backlinks, so all of you, if you were to point to me, and some of you are pointing with the W's and some of you are pointing without the W's, Google sees them as two separate sites. So that's a quick fix, immediate, knock that out. So based on what I've said so far, what do you guys see you would do different? Right out of the gate, first thing you notice, what's it missing? Top right corner. Phone number. Perfect. So what's the next thing it's missing in the header? Okay, call to action. Next. Who you are, what you do, where you do it, what other people think about you, can I review you, and contact us, contact us, contact us. How to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you. Okay, so instantaneously, top header section, we want to make sure phone number, clickable, click to call, you want to be able to tap that number, boom, phone's ringing. Okay, you want to make sure with ease, somebody knows who you are, what you do, very clean, where you do it, what other people think about you, can they give you feedback, and sometimes this is also social media, so it's trust, and how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, and so forth. If I go back to the homepage. So, and this is different. When you have customers come to your site, they're looking for something, you want to make them feel at home, so it's going to be scheduled service. When you have prospects come to your site, if they're looking for installation, it may be get an estimate, or it may be talk to a consultant, or it may be request service, or schedule online, or we did a test for the difference between get a quote and online estimate. Online estimate outperformed get a quote for conversions massively. What do you think? Why? They thought they were going to get a price. So we actually took, defeating the rules of how conversions work, we created a web form that asked, how long have you owned your home? Do you own your home? How many square feet is it? How many floors is it? Where does your unit sit? Do you have a basement? Do you have an attic? We went through and asked us, what are your primary issues? What are your primary concerns? Literally this big, long form. We had a higher number of people filling out that big form versus the short, simple one, which you're supposed to do, because it said online estimate, and when they filled in all that information, they thought it was going to spit out a quote. They're just going to get a price. They actually do fill it out. And then when you call them up, we were concerned that the consumer might be irritated with the amount of information. You guys, thank you so much for my little stars and everything. Okay. And the consumer didn't care, because when they got on the phone, they were able to say, well, based on all this information, this is what I'm going to recommend. They saved them time. They got through the phone call really quick, said, we're going to need to come out, and it actually worked out really well. So small little things as far as the language are going to be important. All right, so very good. So the only thing is visually, I would change the navigation. I would take the things that maybe are not as important, and I would move them up to a secondary navigation or move them to the side. But I would absolutely have your primaries. I would have air conditioning, heating, do you guys do indoor air quality or any other primary services? Okay, so I would label those out and make those your primaries cross top, so it's really clear, because different times of the season, their brain is going to go towards. We even move them around sometimes so that it moves over to the right-hand side if it's something that's more seasonal, versus residential. Residential and commercial can be who we serve, and that can be done in a design element on the homepage.
How do you check the traffic on AirTag? I saw that you had an organic search.
So let me go run a couple of reports. So this isn't going to be a full traffic report, but it'll give us some pieces. So I'm going to let these two run real quick. All right, where'd you go? Have I ran your site before? All right. Okay, so your overall view. Facebook, you're rolling. Twitter, you're rolling. Reviews, you have that connected correctly. Local listings, at least the top 3 look good. Last update, good. What is going on with that? Mobile friendly, yes. AdWords found. Are you currently doing pay-per-click, or you have in the past? I love you. Organic referrals. Good night. So 200 backlinks, Domain age is 2013. Oh,
That good?
I would like to see your analytics.
I have them. They're in safe.
They're what?
They're in safe so that you can't see them.
Hang on. Let that run. WordPress website. Old website. Old theme, at least. You get it a long time ago? 2 years plus? The site age? 2 years or older? Older. I can tell. Okay. Y'all have a lot of content. You have thousands of pages?
Yep.
Did I tell you guys earlier content rules? I think I said something like that. Get off my screen. You have thousands of pages.
Yep.
Totally don't want to redo your site.
Pardon me?
Nothing.
What did you say?
I said I totally don't want to redo your site. You suck rocks. It's so hard. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. We do this all the time. So, okay. So, well, you have 212 pages. 22% of all of your data is content. You have 483 images, 51.94%. Well, a lot of images, no PDF, no Flash. This does not like being on a projector because I can't do normal stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna quit this. No, get off my screen. Okay, so a lot of duplicate content. So this is your related domains. That's what I talked about earlier, is the with the W's, without the W's. So the backlink reports, all the reports you have right now, you may only be seeing 50% of what you actually could have with just small changes like that. So, and these are high. Okay, so about 3 years ago, 4 years maybe, Google came out with an algorithm change that counted tags and categories in your posts. So when you log into the back office of your website, you have an area called posts and it has tags and categories. Every one of your tags and categories is counting as duplicate content and a high percentage. So in the 80s, 85s, and so forth. So there's 46 pages technically with 725 word match count that are under the category tag. They might be totally unique content, but because they all have tags, Google's going to count them as duplicate content. So you want to be careful. The coding of this site, if you don't get a new site and you don't get it restructured, you're in WordPress, but you have an old theme, and it was just a free download from Theme Forest, from what I can tell. And the way they've structured the site, tags and categories are going to kill you, and at some point you could get penalized for that if you have not. You guys have a killer amount of traffic, I'm guessing, as far as what I can tell from an initial search, but you're sitting on a teeter-totter that if Google makes one sweep through that, that could hurt. So you want to be careful. Because the site is old, it doesn't have any schema coding, and it's not AMP. Let me see here. Blog content is really good, but you got to get locations in there. And I didn't dive in there. Okay, So geolocations, and this is what would concern me. I'd have to dive into the analytics. There is very little geo-based data on the front end of your site. Your service areas page has a map, which doesn't provide any service area data.
It used to if you click on
Santa Clarita. Well, the thing is it has to be one indexable page per city in order for Google to be able to snag that page, drop it into that particular city with the phrases heating and air conditioning, service or repair. The home page of the site is primarily focused just on Santa Clarita and tackling a lot of different words. Some of these you want to be careful with saying installing. It'd be better to say AC installation. Residential AC is not as high a frequency search, but AC repair, AC service, furnace repair, furnace service, and so forth, that would help. You want to front load your key phrases in your descriptions, so you put your company name at the end, put your key phrases at the beginning, and locations. That's going to help. Santa Clarita is the only location. Okay. Phone numbers all need to be click to call. So if somebody taps that, it would be better if you link this to your Google Maps than just drop a map on there because people aren't going to use this. But if this is linked to your Google Maps, then it's going to make that connection for your Google Maps to your website, which is going to help. You could highly, highly, highly benefit from the review system that has aggregated data on your website that we can optimize. That would give you all your city pages. All you got to do, getting reviews all over the board is Google Plus is not a review site, so it should be Google Business Listing, where you get your review. Google Plus is more of a social media network. But if you had a concentrated effort on generating reviews, primarily reviews that can be indexable on your Google Business Listing, get that out of the way, create the buffer in between your competitors, and then drive all of your reviews to your website using the application and a schema coding, you'd kill it because you'd have all your city pages and your user-generated content. It's on the house because your clients are spending it. Best thing you're doing is link building. You just want to make sure whoever's doing your link building, make sure that it's white hat only, so it's evergreen link building, just so that never comes back. Simple, some video would help. That'd give you a little boost right out of the gate. That's a simple one. This number, the only thing that concerns me is because there's very little geo-based content on there, that could be from anywhere in the world, depending on what you're ranking for. 10? Yeah? So that I would just, if you get into your analytics and really start diving in and seeing where the traffic's coming from, it'll showcase where it's coming from. You guys have a killer amount of content, though. All right. What city are you guys in? Where is it? Santa Clarita, right? Okay, so let's just go to a handful of searches. So when you guys are going after SEO, remember the city you have a physical office address in, if you have a Google Business Listing with quality reviews, that's the easiest thing to SEO first. Easiest thing out of the gate. So as long as you've got a good client base there, that's where you want to be. So you guys are running neck and neck as far as your reviews.
neck and neck with what?
So you only have for Google Business Listings, you only have 3 featured listings that are going to show up here. You are. So, but what it's based on is the number, the frequency, and the quality of reviews. So you're good as long as no one else pops in with 35 reviews. So you want more of a buffer there. For me to feel safe, I'd want to have 30, 40 reviews higher than these guys. And so reviews balancing, if you're going after reviews, shoving them here just long enough to fill it, create the buffer, be like, leave them in the dust, do it for a little while, and then reroute them to your website. And then just keep an eye on it. keep coming back. If they start doing the same thing, do the same thing. This is love and war online. It's offense and defense. So I'd want more space, more room, because one company coming up with more reviews